What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Back in Bama with Corey, all about Bama football news, updates, and more. Welcome to the channel, guys. Alabama, the transfer portal hasn't been too kind to our Crimson Tide. Via CBS Sports, Alabama facing a new reality as transfer portal misses mount. Talent exodus continues. Alabama is staring down a pivotal offseason entering the third year of Coach Kalen DeBoer's tenure, based solely on the standards set during Alabama's reign of dominance under Nick Saban. DeBoer has underdelivered thus far. The Crimson Tide missed out on the college football playoff in its first season and finished the year with a 9-4 record. Alabama's worst showing since Saban's first season in Tuscaloosa almost 20 years ago. Alabama did not make the playoffs in 2025, becoming the first non-conference champion with 3 losses to ever do so in the process. But they were quickly bounced by Indiana, of course, 38-3, Rose Bowl mauling. Alabama was outscored 100-44 in its 3 postseason games. That includes a 34-24 triumph against Oklahoma in the first round of the playoffs. Hit that subscribe button. So, though most programs naturally would give anything for what Alabama has accomplished under DeBoer, the embattled coach needed to provide some reason for once the transfer portal opened on January 2nd. It hasn't taken long for those hopes to unravel. Alabama did put a good foot forward by landing, supposedly now, this is at the time, North Carolina State star Hollywood Smothers, the number 2 running back in 247 Sports transfer rankings. 3 days after the one-time portal window commenced, Smothers would have added a much-needed jolt of energy to a historically bad Alabama rushing effort. Jam Miller, the Crimson Tide's leading rusher in 2025, finished the year with just 504 yards. He was the only Alabama running back to surpass 300 yards on the season. Alabama backs combined for 8 runs of 20-plus yards. Smothers had 9 on his own while averaging 5.9 yards per carry. Smothers also adds an extra dimension to the offense as a high-level pass-catching back. But Smothers never agreed to a contract with the Crimson Tide. And not long after he revealed his commitment publicly, he was on the campus at Texas for a visit. Less than a week after Smothers initially committed to Alabama, he instead elected to sign with the Longhorns. Wonder why? On the same day, Alabama lost wide receiver target Cam Coleman, the top pass-catching option in the portal and a former thorn in Alabama's side at Auburn. To Texas is where Cam Coleman ended up. Those misses are the highest profile, but they're just 2 of many transfer portal flops that have Alabama staring down a new reality. Its brand isn't enough to carry anymore. Transfer portal players frankly do not care about how many national titles Alabama won with Saban calling the shots. They don't care that Alabama won the SEC all but 4 times from 2009 to 2023. Saban isn't there anymore. And even if he was, he need more than just his sterling reputation to sell the Tide. All that matters now is the almighty dollar. There might be a handful of players that stick it out because of their love for a program. Quarterback Ty Simpson is a good example, but a majority of stars want to be paid. If you're not the biggest spender, you're not going to land them. Alabama plays in a conference of big spenders, which makes it a face in the crowd. Signs point to Alabama lagging behind in the name, image, and likeness realm, especially in comparison to programs of its ilk. CBS Sports recently listed the Crimson Tide among the good, but maybe not as elite as you think category in terms of NIL spending among playoff teams. Just good isn't good enough in the SEC. The inability to land or hold on to top flight talent like Coleman and Smothers bears that out, as does Alabama's increasing failure to retain its own impact players. There's a significant talent exodus departing Tuscaloosa. Here's a look at some of the most notable Alabama players that have entered the transfer portal and where they rank. 7, sports. The defensive lineman James Smith, number 7 overall, number 1 defensive lineman. Wide receiver Isaiah Horton, number 9 overall, number 2 wide receiver, committed to Texas A&M. Edge Keon Keeley, number 51 overall, number 7 edge rusher, committed to Notre Dame. Edge Qua Rossall, number 55 overall, number 8 edge rusher. Offensive lineman Wilton Formey, number 65 overall, number 5 offensive tackle, committed to Texas A&M. Edge Noah Carter, number 71 overall, number 11 edge rusher, committed to Georgia Tech. That's not even counting the players that Alabama is losing to the NFL, like leading wide receiver Jeremy Bernard and stalwart linebacker Deontay Lawson. NFL declarations are a sign of a program's health, at least. Alabama has lost a total of 20 transfers as of January 12th. Its incoming transfer class sits at 6 prospects. USC defensive lineman Devon Tompkins is the only one of those that ranks above a 3-star. The Crimson Tide did invest significant resources into signing an elite crop of high school recruits. Their 2026 class ranks 2nd in the 247 Sports Team Composite Rankings. Alabama inked 9 top 100 players, including 3 5-stars. But freshmen rarely have an immediate impact, and as the playoffs have shown, most successful teams in the modern era of college football rely heavily on the injection of talent from the portal. Now, Indiana, for instance, is the favorite to win the national title. 14 of its 22 offensive and defensive starters came to the Hoosiers via the portal. Efforts in the transfer portal can make or break a coach tenure. I've said that, guys. I've said it. This season will either be redemption or the door for the boar. Alabama can't rest on its own name and brand recognition anymore. If the Crimson Tide want to break back into college football's upper crust, it would have to increase the investment in that realm. Guys, what's your thoughts? Hey, look, it's real out there. I mean, Alabama, from what it seems like, what we're hearing from these various articles and other reports, and even on podcasts that I've actually been tapped into, it's like Alabama doesn't have the deep enough pockets. Texas got oil and gas guys, and billionaires that they can just tap into to keep that NIL money flowing. But in Alabama, who's the billionaires? Where is the support coming from? And that's why maybe some of the ex-athletes that are in the NFL may need to start donating money to the Alabama program to keep this thing going. But that gets back to, well, do these players really want to commit themselves, commit their financial support and backing behind a lackluster coach like DeBoer and his staff? Because these players are not only going elsewhere for the bag, but they also going elsewhere to be coached by different types of coaches, unlike the coach at Alabama right now. Guys, you leave a comment. Remember, I started this channel for real lifelong Alabama fans just like me, who care about the current state of the Alabama Crimson Tide program under Coach Kalen DeBoer. Will this man make it in year 3? Will his staff survive year 3 with him? Only time would tell. But Kalen DeBoer is on the clock, guys. Hey, as always, thanks for the pull-up. Remember, back in Bama. Back in Bama with Corey, all about Bama football. Subscribe to Back in Bama with Corey, all about Bama football. Turn on all notifications and hit that like button.